Hello everybody, welcome to one of my videos. My name's Jamie from Morgan's Games. Welcome to my subscriber top 10 Amiga game poll video. So this was a poll I put together which is for subscribers and followers of the channel only. It's going to confuse quite a lot of you if you don't follow this channel, but I didn't post it in any Amiga Facebook fan pages or anything like that. Only pages or sites that had Morgan's Games logo on it, because this gave the chance for the subscribers and followers to get their say. And I put on this one the chance for the viewers and subscribers to vote for their top 10 Amiga games of all time. Now people voted using email, messenger, live streams, Discord, the YouTube community page, Twitter and the Facebook fan page. So huge thank you to everyone that voted. Okay, going to start this video off with the 5 games that just missed out on the top spot, and then we're going to focus more on the top 10. All that footage was actually my own footage. I didn't capture it on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. But anyway, let's focus on the top 10 now. And I'll be doing it a little bit more detail like I would do in one of my pickup videos. There we go. Coming in at number 10, this is Flashback with 9 votes. Copyright 992, Dolphin Software International US Gold Limited. Tremendous game, and I have long played it. Let's do it for this video. Okay, this is Flashback. Released as Flashback, The Quest for Identity, United States, is 1992. Science fiction cinematic platform game developed by Dolphin Software France and published by US Gold in the United States and Europe and Sunsoft in Japan. The game was directed, written, designed and partially programmed by Paul Quizet, who previously created the adventure game Future Wars. Flashback was initially released for the Amiga in 1992, although originally created for the Sega Mega Drive Genesis version, and imported to MS-DOS, Acorn Archimedes and Super NES in 1993, at which time the Sega Genesis version was also released. CD-ROM versions of Flashback was released for the Sega CD, 3DO, CDI, MS-DOS, Apple Macintosh and FM Towns were released during 94 and 95, together with the cartridge version for the Atari Jaguar in 1995. In 2017, the game was released worldwide for the Sega Dreamcast, featuring graphic assets and cutscenes taken from the MS-DOS version and music from the Amiga version. An updated port for the Nintendo Switch titled Flashback Remastered Edition was released on June 7, 2018 in North America, Europe and Australia. And Flashback Remastered was ported to PlayStation 4 on the 20th of November 2018. And that was a lot to read, but there we go. This is a tremendous game, great fun, and I have long played it, but there we go. This is a tremendous game, great animation, great sound effects, great music, superb all-round game. Right, I'm armed and dangerous with a gun. There we go. With a monster joystick, it's a breeze. So much easier than using a one-button joystick, which one normally would do. Originally advertised as a CD-ROM game on a cartridge, the game features fully hand-drawn backdrops and all animation is retroscoped, giving movement of unusual fluidity similar to that of the earlier Prince of Persia. The capture technique of Flashback was invented independently of Prince of Persia and used a more complicated method of first tracing video images onto transparencies. The game was a commercial and critical success and was listed in the Guinness World Records as the best-selling French game of all time. It was followed by a sequel called Fade to Black in 1995, and in 2013 a Flashback remake by Vector Cell was released for PC and consoles. Right, we put the cartridge into the machine and a bridge is formed. There we go. Superb. Double trouble. Boom, have some of that. There we go. Superb. As a cinematic platformer, Flashback features gameplay similar to that used in 1989's Prince of Persia and Dolphin's own Another World released in 1991. Each level spans a large number of non-scrolling screens and nearly all of which feature multiple levels of altitude requiring the player Conrad to jump, grab onto ledges, climb, use elevators and drop onto lower platforms. Conrad exhibits realistic human running speed and jumping ability as well as realistic weaknesses. He will die if he falls from too great of height. There we go. And it also has a very, very good high super duper jump, which I mentioned on the long play. Now, as of 1995, Flashback had sold 750,000 copies. Amiga Power reviewed it, giving it 92%. Amiga Power, 92%. CU Amiga, 87%. The One, 93%. Megazone, 94%. Amiga Format, 92%. And in this video, 9 votes. There we go. Let's end it on the high, shall we? Kill these super fast people. There we go. That is Flashback on the Amiga. There we go. Cannon Fodder. Tremendous game. 9 votes. Okay, this is Cannon Fodder, an action shoot-'em-up game developed by Sensible Software and published by Virgin Interactive Entertainment for the Amiga in 1993. Virgin imported the game to home computer systems, MS-DOS, Atari ST and Archimedes. And the consoles, the Jaguar, Mega Drive, SNES and 3DO. The game is military themed and based on action shooting with squad-based tactics. The game directs troops through numerous missions, battling enemy infantry, vehicles and installments. But that's actually difficult to read because the level was too short. I had so many attempts at that, I kept running out of level. There we go, when you finish the level, you get heroes in victory. Cannon Fodder has a darkly humorous tone, which commentators variously praise and condemned. Its creators intended it to be a convey on anti-war messages, which some viewers recognised, but the Daily Star and a number of public figures derided the game. In other aspects, reviewers praised the game with highly achieved scores over 90% in Amiga magazines. Amiga Action rewarded it as unprecedented score, calling it the best game of the year. Developers, Sensible Software. Publishers, Virgin Interactive Entertainment. Designers, John Hare. programmers Jules Jameson, artist Stuhl Cambridge, and composers Alistair Brimble for the SNES, Sega Mega Drive, Atari, Jaguar, and Richard Joseph for the Amiga, who sadly passed away at the age of 53 on March the 4th, 2007. That was difficult to read and do this. Right, this game is done by the mouse. Now we hold the right mouse button to shoot and the left mouse button while the cursor is telling you where to go. Where you press it is where you walk to. Now you can also go around in a pack or you can separate your troops. There we go. At the moment we are shooting a machine gun, a very, very short range, but you can also get bazookas and grenades in this game. But this game is absolutely tremendous. Phase complete. There we go. That was so difficult. You have no idea how difficult that was. Oh my god, I can't read all that. Look at it. Cannon Fodder is a military-themed action game with strategy and shoot-em-up elements. The player takes control of a small group of soldiers up to 5, and these soldiers are armed with a machine gun which can kill enemy infantry in a single round. The player's troops are similarly fragile, and while they possess superior firepower at the game's outset, the enemy infantry becomes more powerful as the game progresses. As well as foot soldiers, the antagonists include vehicles such as jeeps, tanks and helicopters, as well as missile-armed turrets. The player must also destroy enemy buildings which spawn enemy soldiers. For these turrets, which are invulnerable to your machine gun fire, the player must utilise secondary explosive weaponry, grenades and rockets. Ammunition for these weapons is limited, and the player must find supplies in crates to replenish their troops. Right, now what is difficult for this is trying not to shoot those crates, which is difficult when you've got enemies continuously coming out of doors. So you've got to shoot and then go for the kill, or go for the collection at this point. Right, go. We have grenades. Now we can shoot the building with the grenades. Yes, I blew up one crate, but I'll go with that. There we go. Also, you can also be killed by the roof and the door. There we go. Now, the rules of this level is destroy all the enemies and destroy all enemy buildings. Once you do that, the level is complete. The player proceeds through 23 missions, divided into several levels, which make it 72 levels in all. These are various settings, including jungle, snow, desert, and some unique terrain features and vehicles such as igloos and snowmobiles. The player must also contend the rivers, crossing which soldiers are slowed and cannot fire, and quicksand, as well as mines and other booby traps. In addition to shooting action, the game features strategy elements and employs a point-and-click control system more common than strategy than action games. As the player troops are heavily outnumbered and easily killed, they most use caution, as well as careful planning and positioning. To this end, they can split the squad into smaller units to take up separate positions or risk fewer soldiers when moving into dangerous areas. Right, that is more than enough reading, Jamie. You've lost one soldier already, but let's not lose any more. But this is probably the most challenging game of Cannon Fodder I've ever done, because I've never actually read statistics while doing it before. Right, I nearly got killed by a door. Right, we're nearly there. Killed the enemy soldier. There we go. Is that it? That was the most challenging one I've ever done. Mission complete. I lost one, but we'll go with that. Now, Lost in Service, Mission 3. We lost one, which was RJ. There we go, Apidia with 9 votes. This came in 8th position, and this is a great game. Came out in 1992 on the Amiga only. Okay, this is Apidia. The game is a horizontal scrolling shooter with some elements similar to early classic shoot-em-up games. The player takes control of a bee, capable of launching a number of projectiles which can damage or destroy enemy targets. The game uses a power-up bar system pioneered by Gradius. Destroying certain enemies leave behind a power-up in the form of a red and yellow flower, which can be collected by the player. The player may collect these powers to activate new weapons and enhancements. A build-up weapon is also in place, like the one you get in R-Type. If the player holds down the fire button for a short period of time, the bee produces a hissing sound, and releasing the fire button will cause the bee to fire a large organic projectile, which is a giant bee sting, which can wipe out many small enemies or damage larger ones. If the player's bee is hit by enemy fire or crashes into the terrain, a life is lost, and the stage is restarted, apart from the boss battles on the first 3 levels. That will continue until all lives are lost, or it's game over, or continue, whatever the case may be. A cooperative two-player mode is also possible, with the second player controlling a smaller companion drone which can launch small projectiles and shield the first player. The drone can sustain 5 small projectile hits, but was killed if it hits by anything bigger than that. Or collisions with the terrain also kills it. But it does not reset if it dies. The large B is the alpha, which must survive to advance. The game consists of 5 themed levels, a meadow upon a sewer field with mutated enemies, a psychological machine, and a final level where you must face 5 final bosses. Wow! Boss battle! It's a caterpillar! That was the easiest bit! Boom boom pow! Amiga is a horizontal scrolling shoot-'em-up game developed by German studio Kaiko and released by Playbyte in 1992 for the Amiga. It was Kaiko's second game developed. The first game was Gen X. Despite being labelled 2 in the title, it's not a sequel to any game and has the digits placed there simply for a gag. Whoa, that's close. The story revolves around Ikuro, whose wife Yuri has been poisoned by Hexai, an evil lord of black magic. Ikuro uses magic to transform into a deadly bee and seeks to find the antidote for Yuri and wreak revenge on Hexai. There we go. Developed by Kaiko, publishers Blue Byte, designer Peter Theroff, artist Frank Mancy, and composer Chris Helsbeck. In this video, 9 votes. Tremendous game. Absolutely love it. That was close, Jamie. That was really close. You were killed by a tooth. We're in a pike's stomach. You can't fire here. All you've got to do is collect the Coke cans and get to the end of the pike. In one end, out the other. Amiga Action, 82%. Amiga Computing, 67%. Amiga Format, 91%. The One, 87%. CU Amiga, Tony Dillon reviewed it, 65%. CU Amiga again, Dan Slingsby, 80%. And in this video, 9 votes. I didn't know. Do you know what? I had no idea you could do this. But if you actually get poisoned, it doesn't actually kill you. But what it does is it rotates the screen upside down. So now we're looking at it from a different perspective. So up is down and down is up. Left is left and right is right. But just up and down. It does wear off, but it doesn't kill you. But for years and years and years, I've been avoiding that. And I had no idea it did that. There we go. Doesn't help me in this situation. It's actually making it more difficult for me. This is what the idea it's supposed to do. Does wear off. There we go. Boom, boom, pow. Have some of that. There we go. Coming in at number 7 with 10 votes is Sensible Soccer. Now this one's a little bit trickier for me because some people voted for Sensible Soccer and some people voted for Sensible World of Soccer. So I've had to blend them both together and we have 10. Sensible Soccer, often known as Sensi, is a football video game series which was highly popular in the early 1990s and still remains a cult following. Developed by Sensible Software and first released for the Amiga and Atari ST computers in 1992, as well as the PC, it featured zoomed-out bird's-eye view, editable nations, club and custom teams. Gameplay utilises a relatively simple and user-friendly control scheme. One of the defining gameplay elements was the aftertouch feature, which enabled effective but unrealistic swerves. The game topped charts such as the Amiga Power's all-time top 100. The graphic style of the game was used in other Sensible Software games, such as Megalomania, Cannon Fodder, and Sensible Golf. Does that make sense? I've read it so fast. Try to concede any goals. Right, I am England, and we're playing Malta. Right, so we're playing for 90 minutes, but then we're not really, are we? We only play for about 4. But you can also put swerve on the ball. Now, I'm not brilliant at this game, but I know a few people are. Now, in this game, we have our usual red cards, yellow cards, and injuries. But one thing we don't have in this game is the offside rule. In a way, I'm quite pleased about that. But there you go, just taking the lead. England 1, Malta 0. There we go. Who scored it? I have no idea. Paul Merson. There we go. Paul Merson in the 4th minute. There we go. Who's on the ball now? On the 12th of November 2015, a spiritual successor to Sensible Soccer, Sociable Soccer, was announced by John Hare, and early versions of PC, mobile and virtual reality were also shown at 9 different popular venues, including Gamescom and the London Science Museum in 2016, with development still continuing despite an unsuccessful Kickstarter. Sensible Soccer was released on Steam Early Access on 12th of November 2017, with PlayStation 4, Xbox One, iOS and Android versions to follow. I have no idea what's going on here. I've got a corner. If I score from that, I will not deserve it, because I wasn't paying attention. On November the 1st, 2005, it was announced at an interview at a gaming website, Eurogamer, that the series would make a return in the summer of 2006, with a full 3D title to be released on PC, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Codemasters hold the license, which would release the game across all PAL territories, with design capabilities overseen by John Hare, and the original design of the game, Sensible Soccer 2006, was released on 9th of June 2006. Which I have played. I have to admit, I wasn't overly blown away by it. It wasn't bad, but it's nowhere near as good as the original. A win for England. Even though I don't know a lot about it, I was reading most of the time. There we go. Full time. Malta 0, England 1. There we go. Sensible World of Soccer this time. I had to combine these two together because otherwise it's going to be too much work to do because there's so many different Sensible Soccer games. There we go. Sensible World of Soccer was designed and developed by Sensible Software as a 1994 sequel to their 1992 game Sensible Soccer, which combined a 2D football game with a comprehensive manager mode. The game includes contemporary season data of professional footballers from around the world, with a total of 1,500 teams and 27,000 footballers. Although the gameplay is simple, 8 directions and a 1 fire button, a large variety of context sensitivity actions can be performed without any predefined keys. Right, I am England and I'm playing Scotland. Again, I'm using a zip stick. Now this one I think is a lot more difficult than Sensible Soccer, but that's my own personal opinion. That was an own goal. That was an own goal. My lord. Not by me, but a computer. Wow, that was... I'll take that. My lord. Also, in 1996, an upgrade was released in a double CD case for PC and Amiga discs, upgraded with an older version of Sensible World of Soccer 96-97. Nowadays, they considered that rare collector's item. Later, there was also a white label version containing the European Championship Edition, published by Virgin Interactive. Again, I scored, and I wasn't even looking. In fact, I scored more goals when I'm not looking than I am looking at the screen. There we go, 2-1. Right, at the moment it's 2-1, but however, I am actually down to 10 men, so they got the other advantage on that. Oh, that was hit the post. Oh, superb! Not bad for someone that's reading, and actually down to 10 men. I'll take that. Is that Shearer? It looks like Shearer. Possibly Shearer. So there we go, with 10 votes, it was 7 in the list. Next. There we go, coming in at number 6, This Is Another World, had 10 votes. Coming in at number 6 is Another World, also known as Out of This World in North America. It's a 1991 cinematic platform action adventure game designed by Eric Chahi and published by Dolphin Software. The game tells the story of Lester, a young scientist who, as a result of an experiment gone wrong, finds himself on a dangerous alien world where he must fight for his survival. Another World was designed by Chahi alone over a course of 2 years, with only getting help from the soundtrack. Chahi developed his own game engine, completing all the game's art and animations in vector form to reduce memory use, with some use of rotoscoping to help plan out the characters' animations and movements. Both narratively and gameplay-wise, he wanted the game to be told with little or no language of user interface elements. The game was originally developed for the Amiga and Atari ST, but has since then been widely ported to other contemporary systems, including home and portable consoles and mobile devices. Chahi has since overseen releases of various anniversary releases of the game. Superb game. Not a particularly long game, but it is definitely challenging. But like Prince of Persia and Flashback, very, very similar in the way it looks and the way it moves. Great animation, great sound effects. Not a lot of music though, but the music is great. Now, we've got to avoid these worms. They're on the ceiling. Now, you've got to clear all of them at this point, because otherwise we're going to run back after getting chased by a wild beast, and we're going to get bit on the arm. And one bite from this, their venom is nasty. Another World was innovative in its use of cinematic effects in both real-time and cutscenes, which earned a game praise among critics and commercial success. It also influenced a number of other video games and designers inspired, such as Ico, Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and Delphin's later Flashback. Right, being chased by beasts. This level is not particularly long, but it is absolutely superb. When I saw this for the very first time, yes, I died quite a lot of times, but it was absolutely astounding. Never seen anything like it before. But there we go, we run for it. We run like Forrest Gump. If I keep our distance, it should result in the result we want. Death to the wild beasts. Not death to me. Now, in the old days, I thought he was dead. I thought, was that it? Another World is a platform game featuring a control scheme where the player uses either keyboard, joystick or gamepad to make the protagonist run, jump, attack and perform other situated specific actions such as rocking the cage back and forth. In the initial part of the game, the player is unarmed and is able to kick at certain small enemies but otherwise is defenseless. Later in the game, the player acquires a laser pistol from a fallen foe. The pistol has three capabilities: a standard fire mode, the ability to create a force field to block enemies' firepower, and a powerful charge shot that can break through force fields and some walls. Enemies also have some capabilities during the player to take advantage of, and the 3 gun modes and the environment to overcome them. Right, we're on to the teeth. We actually have a pistol now. Now, this one has 3 attack forces, so we've got to try and make it safe to get out of here. Now, your friend, I don't actually know what his name is. I don't know if he's actually got one. He's got to try and make it safe for us to get out of here. So we've got to try and make it safe for him to do so. So while he's making an escape, or making it safe for escape, I'm making it safe for him to make it safe. Yeah, that was simple to say. Right, so we hold the fire button down and we do a fully charged shot. However, that force field can be shot by enemies' firepower or it can wear off over time. So sometimes it's best to do 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3, just to make sure. The protagonist of the game is Lester Knight Chaking, a young genius scientist. In an opening cinematic, Lester arrives at his high-tech underground laboratory in his Ferrari 288 GTO during a thunderstorm and goes to work on his experiment using a particle accelerator, attempting to reconstruct what happened when the universe was born. Immediately before the particles reach their intended destination, a lightning bolt strikes the laboratory and interferes with the accelerator, causing an unforeseen particle fusion and explosion, opening a hole in the time and teleporting Lester to a barren alien planet. Right, that is how we max out our ammunition for a pistol. There we go. Another World was commercially successful, selling more than 1 million copies during the 1990s. The game received critical acclaim. Computer Gaming World criticised the brief documentation and short length of gameplay, but praised the game's graphics and Amiga sound, calling it one of Europe's most playable and enjoyable arcade efforts. The Lessons of Dragon gave the game 5 out of 5, calling it an adventure that will keep the player on the edge of his seat for some time to come. Reviewing the 3DO version, GamePro said Out of This World is destined to be a classic, but that the 3DO version has too little improvement to be worthwhile for those who have already played the game. And there we go! 6 in this list. There we go, with 10 votes. In 5th place with 11 votes, it's Lotus 2 Turbo Challenge. Superb game. Out of all 3 of them, I've always preferred this one the most, but it's tough. Anyway, let's go. Okay, coming on number 5 is Lotus Turbo Challenge 2. The second Lotus game shifted focus to arcade-oriented gameplay, being the first in the series released for a game console, which is the Sega Mega Drive Genesis, under the title Lotus Turbo Challenge. The fuel limit and difficulty were dropped. And the base levels were replaced with course-based time trials, with the player required to complete each course within a specific time to qualify for the next race. In addition to the Esprit Turbo SE, Lotus Turbo Challenge 2 also features a Lotus Elaine SE, hence Esprit being dropped from the title. There is no choice of car, however the player runs with an Elaine SE on odd levels and the Esprit on even levels. There we go. Lotus 2 single player mode uses the full screen instead of half, and instead of having music in-game, you hear the car's engine. Right, there we go. The developers, Magnetic Field. Publishers, Gremlin Graphics. Composers, Barry Leach. Platforms, Amiga, CD32, part of the Lotus Trilogy. Atari ST, Acorn Archimedes, Sega Genesis. Released in 1991. Genre is racing, single player, or multiplayer. And that's more than enough reading, Jamie. But anyway, this game is tremendous. This is by far my favourite in the series. Take nothing away from the other 2, they are great. However, I wasn't keen on the split screen on the first game. However, I haven't given it much of a chance. But this one has always been my favourite. Now, there are 8 tracks in total. And I'm sure I'm not alone, the fog is the most difficult. Now, at the age of 37 years old, I finally got past that fog level. And since then, I've completed it quite a few more times. But now I'm struggling with the ones after that, which is snow, and desert, and storm, and all the other ones. But there's a lot to do. Now this game is tough. Now if I could change one thing about this game, it would be having more time. The time is just so tight in this game. All it needs is another 5 seconds. That's all I'm asking. 5 seconds. But take nothing away from the game, it is a superb game. Now you do get some unbelievably difficult hazards in this game. Not only do we have cars, we also have rocks, we have logs which you can jump on, and water. One day, I might get that first completion of the full game. But at the moment, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I certainly am trying. I've had so many attempts in the last few months. Maybe one day, you never know. Now, when you get to the checkpoints, and each level has anything from 6 to 8 checkpoints, I believe, you gain more time. Now, when you hear that tick, that's telling you you're very, very close to running out of time. Now, you can get a really, really good high score in this game, but we are actually using an automatic, and at the moment we're in gear 5. And when you hear that tick, you've got 5 or 6 seconds remaining, so get to the checkpoint as quickly as you can. Avoid the rocks. Good luck explaining that to your insurance company if you hit a rock at 150 miles per hour. Now, Lotus 3, I've not played much, but I have played it more than one. But this one has been played so much in my life. Right, avoid the cars, avoid the rocks. Hit the logs to go over water, because believe it or not, water will slow you down. Use those logs to your advantage. That saves you a lot of time. Boom, boom, pow! Have some of that. There we go. That was 5th place with 11 votes. There's a touch of humour on the 6th level, the motorway level of the Amiga version. If the player successfully goes underneath one of the trailers of the lorries that crosses the road, the announcer will shout, "Yeehaw!" That sound is used to taunt on the Genesis port. The Amiga and Atari ST are able to use serial ports to connect another computer. You can link 2 Amigas or 2 Atari STs, or Amiga to Atari ST running Lotus 2. This making it possible for 3 or 4 players to play at the same time. 2 players to play in full screen, and the feature does not exist in other versions, nor the 2 other episodes. That was good. That worked to my advantage. I actually slipped around that car. My lord, do that again if you want to. Coming in at number 4 with 12 votes, we have Pinball Fantasy. Tremendous game by Digital Illusions. Okay, so Pinball Fantasy. Pinball Fantasy is a 1992 pinball video game originally developed by Digital Illusions and published by 21st Century Entertainment in Europe with Amiga home computers. It's a sequel to Pinball Dreams, which was released earlier in the same year on multiple platforms. In the game, the player can pick 1 of 4 tables, each with its own theme, and the objective is to earn the biggest highest score possible. Right, this is Speed Freaks. This is actually table 2. My favourite table is Partyland, which is tremendous. Now this is actually the AJ version, and we have 3 flippers on show here. 1 at the top and your 2 usual ones at the bottom, which are activated by using the shift keys, 1 on the left and 1 on the right. And we have 3 balls. There we go. Superb game. This one and Pinball Dreams are the ones I played the absolute most. Also, Pinball Mania is during this game as well as Slam Tilt, and of course Pinball Illusions is also done by the same people, which followed this game. But it's tremendous. Superb. Pinball Fantasies was created by the same team who previously developed Pinball Dreams, and although it was initially released for the Amiga computer, the title was later ported to other computers and consoles, including the Amiga CD32, Atari Jaguar, Game Boy, MS-DOS, PlayStation, and the SNES, with one featuring different changes and additions compared to the original version. Right, this is the $1 Million Game Show, which is another tremendous table. I have to admit, I'm a big fan of game shows, but I do prefer the old game shows, not the current ones. In saying that, I don't watch any TV anyway. Right, again, we have 3 flippers. 1 at the top and your 2 main ones at the bottom. There we go, we've got $1 million. I love spinning this wheel, tremendous. We've got to do a few more bits first before we can do so. Keep doing this and we get a loop million. There we go. Upon its release on the Amiga, Pinball Fantasies was met with critical acclaim from video game magazines and praised for several aspects such as the presentation, visuals, audio, gameplay and overall improvements from its predecessor. Other versions of the game were met with mostly similar positive responses from reviewers, with some publications like PC Gamer regarding it as one of the best video games of all time. A further sequel, Pinball Illusions, was released in 1995, which is another tremendous game. But unfortunately, it only had 3 tables, even though on later versions, on the PlayStation 1 for example, it had 4, which is Vikings. Vikings didn't appear in the later version. There we go, tremendous game. This is Stones and Bones. And like Pinball Dreams, it's a horror theme. The horror theme on Pinball Dreams was of course Nightmare, which had an astounding soundtrack. There we go. Superb. 2 screens, 10 lights, extra ball. 3 screams, 10 lights, extra ball. There we go, million. And again, that was a bit... What happened there? Whoa, 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 wow. Look at that. You can use tilt down the drain, but there we go. In February 1995, both the Game Boy and SNES versions were developed by Spidersoft and released in North America and Europe by GameTech. The Super NES port contains all 4 tables and the same music from the Amiga version, but suffers a limited colour palette. The SNES version was also published in Brazil by Playtronic on February 1996. In June 1995, the Atari Jaguar version by Spidersoft with extra colours was co-published by 21st Century Entertainment, Computer West in North America and Europe. The Jaguar port was also distributed in Japan by Messi Sanisio, and the PlayStation compilation created by Spidersoft titled People Fantasy Deluxe was published exclusively in Japan by VAP on the 25th of October 1996, which also include People Mania tables, and these have been unlocked. First, there we go. In this Amiga game poll, it came fourth with a total of 12 votes, but that is People Fantasies. There we go, Chaos Engine coming at number 3 with 13 votes. Tremendous game, this is the AGA version. Okay, coming in at 3rd place with 13 votes, this is the Chaos Engine. Chaos Engine is a top-down run-and-gun game developed by the Big Bad Brothers and published by Renegade Software in March 1993. The game is set in steampunk Victorian age, which 1 or 2 players must battle the hostile creations of the Chaos Engine across 4 landscapes, ultimately defeating it and its deranged inventor. Tremendous game. First time I played this was actually on the Amiga CD32, which was the Voyager pack if I remember rightly. So it's 2 players. If you're not playing as 2 player, then the second player will be controlled by the computer. I'm using the Navi, which is my favourite character, the slowest, but it does have the best firepower, and the Bragan, who's definitely a lot faster than me. It was first released to Commodore Amiga with a version available as AGA Amigas, and later ported to MS-DOS, Super Nintendo, Atari ST, Amiga CD32, Rise OS, and the Sega Mega Drive versions. In the SNES version, the Mega Drive versions, the character of the Preacher had his collar removed and was renamed the Scientist. The US version of these 2 ports were retitled The Soldiers of Fortune. A sequel to the game, Chaos Engine 2, was released in 1996, which I do have. It's one of the most expensive boxes in my collection. Baron Fortescue succeeded in the greatest creation yet, the Chaos Engine, which is able to experiment with matter and the very nature of space and time. Unfortunately for the rest of the Proud Kingdom, the engine then proceeded to become sentient, captured and turned against its creator, and began to change countrysides for the worse. Vile monsters and destructive automata appeared everywhere, and even prehistoric beasts were resurrected. The telegram wires connected to the British Isles and the European mainland are cut, and any ship attempts to enter the British port is attacked. The British royal family, members of parliament and a large number of refugees managed to escape across the sea, bringing them many tales of horror. The British Empire is left in tatters and the world is economic and political chaos. That lured a number of mercenaries to the potential rewarding quest to infiltrate the quality Britain, find the loot of the problem and swiftly bring a full stop to it. Again, tough to read. Right, we're getting attacked by evil frogs. At the end of the cellars in the Hall of Machines, the player characters face the Chaos Engine itself in the last battle. Upon its destruction, the narrator of the game is revealed to be Baron himself, trapped within the machine and studded with implants. The instruction sequence is displayed in text on the screen of the floppy disk version, but the slightly modified version is narrated with a voiceover in the CD32 version, together with some scene-setting animations. Players choose 2 mercenaries from a group of 6 to take on the task of defeating the Mad Baron Fortescue and Chaos Engine himself. The playable characters have varied qualities and affect gameplay, such as speed and combat ability. The players are provided with a certain amount of money to start the game and hire chosen characters at set places. And when you hold the fire button down, you fire a special weapon. In my case, kills everything on the screen. Even though there's nothing to kill anyway. But there we go, we've got to find all the nodes and then you go to the exit door. Navi and the Thug are the strongest and most expensive in the group, and these are the highest health and most destructive specials that are slower than other characters. The Navi uses a bazooka which fires straight ahead and does heavy damage, and the Thug uses a shotgun, which is less powerful than the bazooka but fires more shots with a wider angle. The Bragan and the Mercenary. The Bragan and Mercenary are the all-rounded characters and have mid-range price. They are slightly weaker than the Navi and the Thug, but have access to more specials and are more faster. The Bragan uses a rifle which works the same way as Navi's bazooka but is not as powerful. The Mercenary uses a Gatling gun that operates similarly to the Thug's shotgun but has different patterns. The Gentleman, the Preacher, or the Scientist, if you talk about other versions, are the least expensive, with the highest movement speed and wide selection of special powers. However, they have the lowest health. The Gentleman uses a flame pistol, which the Preacher carries a laser. These shots are weaker than those of other characters and can pass through enemies after hitting them. For the North American release, the Preacher design was recreated slightly and renamed to the Scientist because the North American publishers felt that the priest killing people was offensive. Now, keys do many things in this game apart from just open doors. They activate stairs and open up secret areas. This game has a lot of secret areas. There's also so many other things you can pick up, special powers, food, and of course, upgrades. The players must travel through each level, picking up power-ups, gold, and keys to progress through the puzzles and mazes, and a number of nodes must be collected to exit the level. At the end of every second level, the player has a chance to split their collected riches to upgrade their weapons, increasing the number of hit points the player can take, new abilities, and improve character attributes. There we go. Right, this game was voted third in my poll, and with 13 votes, this is Chaos Engine. Tremendous game. Maybe in the future we'll do a long play, but there we go. There we go. Coming in at number 2 with 14 votes, it's those classic little guys. This is Lemmings. Tremendous game. Coming at number 2 with 14 votes, it's Lemmings. Lemmings is a puzzle platformer video game originally developed by DMA Design in Dundee, Scotland, and published by Psychonosis for the Amiga in 1991, and was later ported to a number of other platforms. The game was programmed by Russell Kay, Mike Daly, and David Jones, and was inspired by a simple animation that Daly created while experimenting with Deluxe Paint. The objective of the game is to guide a group of lemmings through a number of obstacles to a designated exit. To save the required number of lemmings to win, one must determine how to assign a limited number of 8 different skills to specified lemmings that allow the selected lemming to alter the landscape, to affect the behaviour of other lemmings, or to clear obstacles to create safe passageways for the rest of the lemmings. How many times did I say lemmings there? About 7, I think. Right, it's safe. So now we've got to pop this blocker. We've got to save 50 lemmings on this one, and this is, it should be a doddle, which is tricky difficulty. Oh, no. There we go. On they go, it's safe. Unfortunately, no fast forward, which appeared in some later versions, including Lemmings 2 to Tribes. But there we go, it's now safe, and we have plenty of time to do it. There we go, should be 99 saved. There we go, all lemmings accounted for. You needed 50%, you rescued 99%. You totally stormed that level, let's see if you can storm the next. Lemmings was one of the best received video games in the early 1990s, and was the second highest rated game in the history of Amstrad Action, and was considered the 8th greatest game of all time by Next Generation in 1996. Lemmings is also one of the most highly ported and best-selling video games, and is estimated to have sold around 20 million copies between all varied ports. The popularity of the game is also led by a creation of several spin-offs, sequels, and remakes, and also inspired similar games. Right, this one is we all fall down. There's 40 lemmings and we have 40 diggers. If they fall off the edge, they will die because it's too high for them. So each one has to dig. However, if you can walk over one that's already digging, that also saves them. So the rules are simple. We've got to save 100% of them. This one is definitely one you need to play if you've got a decent mouse. With a bad mouse, this one is going to be very difficult for you, especially in the later levels, because this one does feature again, but I believe you're doing it at a faster rate. Maybe even with less diggers, but there we go. Superb. Now 3 of them got away with not digging there, because I've got 3 left over here. There we go. We've got to rescue all of them. The original Lemmings also had 20 two-player levels. This took advantage of the Amiga's ability to support 2 mice simultaneously, and the Atari's ability to support a mouse and a joystick simultaneously. Each player is presented with their own view of the same map on a vertically split screen, and can give orders to their own lemmings, green or blue, and have their own base. The goal is to get more lemmings, regardless of the colour, into their own base than the other player. Gameplay circles through 20 levels until either player gets any lemmings home. Right, this is where we need bombers. Luckily we have 10 of them. We did time this very well, so Jamie, don't move your cursor away from this area. This is still on Tricky. I believe this is level 15, remember rightly? But we need some well-timed bombers here. Don't bomb too many, you won't save enough people. Lemmings. There we go, that should do it. 88 rescued of 80 needed. But there we go, that is Lemmings. Tremendous game. Number 2 in the poll. I'm sure you guys know what number 1's going to be. Let's find out. There you go, the number 1 spot goes to Turrican 2 with 17 votes. Tremendous game, presented by Rebel Art, 16-bit version by Factor 5. Tremendous game, well done Turrican 2. Okay, Turrican 2 The Final Fight was the second game in the Turrican series. Developed by Factor 5, was released for the Commodore Amiga in 1991. This version was finished before the C64 version, but Manfred Trent cites that the C64 version was the original design. Turrican 2 was also released for CD-TV, Atari ST and for CBC as an Spectrum and later ported to DOS, as well as the Sega Mega Drive Genesis and Game Boy, rebranded as Universal Soldier. And it's absolutely superb. The one thing I've changed about this game is the evil time limit, but everything else you cannot fault. Great animation, great graphics, great music, and it's just an all-round superb game. And you have so many skills. Start the game off with the basic firepower, but you can change that very, very quickly. You get the bounce, you get the multiple, and the laser. Also have the power line, as well as the lightning, and the gyroscope, which presses down and spacebar, puts you into a spiky ball. And you're invincible, apart from falling off a cliff. But you can also drop mines in that way as well. Now I played this one first before playing Turrican 1 in the old days, but I was so impressed with it that a week later I went back to town with my dad and bought the first game as well. Turrican 1 and Turrican 2 are the only 2 Turrican games I own in my collection, and the only 2 Turrican games I've finished. I've never actually seen a box version of Turrican 3, but in the future I hope so I'll get it, and hopefully I'll complete it too. Right, start the game off with 3 lives, and one thing this game does not lack is the amount of lives you can pick up. There are so many lives you can pick up in this game. But you can pick up additional energy and weapon upgrades, but one thing you cannot get in this game is additional time. Energy is down the bottom right, scores at the top left, and we have 2 crystals and 500 time and 2 power lines. Now this game is definitely not lacking in the amount of enemies, and they're so challenging. And lots and lots of boss battles as well. Right, there we go. Don't want to have you hang around for too long because this game has the even time limits. Turrican 2 can be described as a cross between Metroid and Psychic Oscars, while the huge detailed labyrinth levels and the morph ball function was inspired by Metroid. Overall graphics, design and weaponry were inspired by Psychic Oscars, while the spaceship shoot 'em up levels were inspired by Nekito's Air Buster. I was stuck in the corner there, but I was trying to read. Console versions of Turrican 2 for the Sega Mega Drive Genesis version and SNES and Game Boy were produced by Code Monkeys by Accolade, which had kept the rights to the console ports to the franchise. The game was highly developed using the original CD4 score, code, and Amiga graphics as a base. At the late stage of development, Accolade acquired also the producer of the game spin-off of Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Universal Soldier, and decided to rebrand the console conversions as Universal Soldier. Turrican sprite was changed into a marine and several other situations were made. Among other changes, the eyeball walking on fingers became mini tanks, and instead of a large mech steel dragon in the first stage, the player now faces a large representation of Dolph Lundgren's character in the film. The game is divided into 5 distinct worlds with its own theme music provided by Chris Helsbeck, plus the final showdown with the boss known as the Machine. The music is regarded as one of Helsbeck's best compositions and is performed live by an orchestra at the second Symphonic Game Music Concert in 2004. In 2016, Chris Helsbeck created a limited collector's box edition featuring new live orchestras recordings Turrican from Turrican 2. There we go, good amount of time. There's so much reading. Shoot him in the eye. Great music once again. Each level has its own separate music, and so does boss battle. There we go. Superb, superb, superb. There we go, voted 1 in the poll with 17 votes. That is Turrican 2, the final fight. Thank you everyone for voting. Coming in last place, and I had to feature it from Mr. Rusty James because he knows I hate Mr. Blobby. But this is Mr. Blobby on the Amiga. Okay, to start the game, this is Mr. Blobby on the Amiga. Came out in 1994, developed by Freestar and published by Millennium. Okay. Basically a remake of the SNES game Super Troll Island, but superficially incorporating the Mr. Blobby character, who is famous for crushing people and shouting blobbity blobbity blobby, or words in that effect. It's essentially a platformer game with 60 levels are reliant on you colouring in enough of the screen by walking over it. Power-ups are on offer and the levels include some interesting level designs including ladders, spikes and springs to bounce off of. You can switch between 3 characters, Mr. Blobby, Mrs. Blobby, and Baby Blobby at any point, and you lose once all 3 lives are lost. They can throw items with the spacebar. Not just the floors you got to colour in, but also the ladders. So basically, you got to go everywhere. Fill all the platforms, all the ladders, and you get bombarded with lots and lots of shopping. But how we pick them up, I'm not sure. I can pick one up, but then I don't know how you sort of collect all of them, so I don't know. But there we go, that's the end of the first level. Level 2. Now, Mr. Blobby is a character featured in Noah Evans' TV show, Noah's House Party, portrayed by Barry Killerby, who was brainchild of British comedy writer Charles Adams, a writer of the show. A bulbous pink figure covered with yellow spots, he permanently has been a toothy grin and green googly eyes. Mr. Blobby communicates by saying the word Blobby in an electrical altered voice. Expression of moods through the tone of a voice and repetition. He toppled the UK chart on the Christmas #1 hit, Mr. Blobby. To be honest, it wouldn't be called anything else now, would it? Now, I personally cannot stand Mr. Blobby. I've never liked Mr. Blobby, but I'm going to do this for Mr. Rusty James. Right, again, we've got to fill up all the platforms, and water also comes under that category as well. Which is okay until you want to do the top bit, and this is where it gets very, very time consuming. Now, if you hold the fire button down for a long period of time, he'll do a really, really high jump. And his jumping is the worst of the controls in this game. Mr. Blobby made regular appearances on Saturday morning shows, Live and Kicking, and Saturday evening show, The Generation Game with Jim Davison, which I watched. The character has appeared in cameos on Dead Ringers and Harry Hill's TV Burt, which also I liked. Dick and Dom in the Bungalow and Ants and Deck's Saturday Night Takeaway. The character has also appeared in the music video of Peter Kay's 2007 charity single, This Is the Way to Amarillo. See, why does he have to ruin it? Why does he have to ruin all his programs? Why does he have to ruin all his songs? Don't put him in this stuff. He's a stupid thing. I don't like him. Apologies to all you people that like Mr. Blobby, but I absolutely despise him. I always have done. Noah's House Party is a classic, but again, he ruined it for me. He ruined a lot of things for me. But there we go. Now I'm controlling him from Mr. Rusty James. Again, his jumping is absolutely atrocious. But there we go. Once you fill up the room then lights up. Now, we haven't picked up any weapons yet, but you can actually pick up weapons and throw them at the enemies. All we have is a hat. One in my hand and one on my head now. Okay. We can pick up a loaf of bread and chuck a loaf of bread at them. You can do that, I suppose. Now, this level is a lot longer than the one we just did. Now, if you press the spacebar, you can throw whatever's in your hand. In this case, killed by a hat. Oh, it didn't kill him. Oh, okay. I thought all enemies die with a single hit. Right, okay, I'm going to throw a loaf of bread at him instead. I don't know what it is. What is he? I killed you with a loaf of bread and you destroy it. There we go. Right, pick up the shells. So you've got to try and light up everything. Absolutely everything. Even the kitchen sink, if there was one. Now, apart from Mr. Blobby jumping around on the screen, which I can't stand, I do actually like the graphics of the game. I love the character design on the enemies, not Mr. Blobby. I can't stand that one. But I love the music of this game, which is done by Richard Joseph. Right, there's a pistol there. Can Mr. Blobby shoot a pistol? I'm guessing he probably can. Oh, okay. Water pistol? Right, so you hit it with a water pistol, then you turn it into a big puddle, and then you pop them. It's a cloud. Oh, okay, so some take more hits than others. Okay. This level's a lot longer than the one we just did. There we go, success. Now this bit I don't quite understand, because it gives you lots and lots of fruit and veg and fast food, but then how do you pick them up? I don't know, I've got a gun in my hand, I can't pick up anything else. Okay, on we go. So I ended that level with a pistol in my hand and a police hat on. Well done, the evil mist has been banished. Level 2 is clear with a colour of 98%, treasure 100%, bonus 15,090, and there's your password, CCAH. And that is Mr. Blobby. Okay everyone, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was again a very, very different video to put together, but it's all based on your responses. So thank you to everyone that voted, and I'll leave you with some outtakes with no surprise. Anyway, this is Jamie from Warden's Games. Please like, comment, and share. Please subscribe to my channel, Facebook fan page, Instagram, or from Twitch. Just type in Warden's Games to find it fairly easily. And please remember to click on the bell icon that will notify you when videos upload. Fantastic. I'm not doing these sort of videos. I do retro long plays about sheets, handbeat making, and live streams every Friday night from 8 to 11 o'clock. I'll up every week. Till next time, take it easy. Ciao, bye. See ya. Total of amount of approximately 1,500 teams, 27,000 players. Although the gameplay is simple, I scored without looking. Although the gameplay is simple, 8 directions and 1 fire button, a large variety of context-sensitive actions can be performed without any predefined keys. My lord, did I just do that? That was an own goal. Oh, it wasn't even me. Right, okay. I shot the wrong way. That'd be the sharpest tool in the tool shed. That don't sound right. Oh, Tina's gonna turn itself off if you can't see. Even on the top 10 it does it. Beam. The worst level to do it on too. Okay, this is flashback. Releasing... Good start. Jamie, you wasn't even recording, you pillock. Oh, for the MS... No, Jamie, you skipped a line there. You skipped a line. You skipped a line. The game was directed, written... My lord, Jamie. Okay, this is Flashback. Releases Flashback, the quest for identity in the United States. The 1992 science fiction plus... My lord. Jamie, this is a top 10. It's not a long play, you donut. There we go. Apidia. Tremendous game. It came out in 1990... And destroying enemies sometimes relieves freely. Oh, the game is a military themed and based on arcade shooting with That level's over too quickly. I didn't even read the paper. Developed by Sensible Software and published by Virgin Interactive Studios. Jamie, it's Virgin Interactive Entertainment. Completely different thing. The problem I've got here, as random as it sounds, is the level's not long enough. I can't read all that because the level's over. 21st century entertainment in Europe for Amiga. Jamie, get that in shot a little bit better, don't you think? Also known as Out of This World in North America, is a 1991 cinematic platformer action adventure game developed. Right, number 6. Right, at the moment, I'm fighting with cables continuously, all the time. Right. Problem I've got at the moment is I'm holding a cup of tea for no reason. I'm coughing for no reason. And dying. This is a classic, and it received 14 votes. Lemmings is a puzzle platformer video game originally developed by DMN Design in Dundee.